Over the last few weeks, there's been leaps and bounds of progress on the 1968 Mustang. I've gotten most of the bodywork and fabrication complete. I'm starting to look at bolting parts back onto the car. One thing in particular that I'm very focused on for this build is the driving position. I want to be comfortable, I want to be set up to have good control of everything and really feel the car when it's time to go on track. As some of you know, earlier in the summer when I had started the project to get ready for Overcrest, I lost time due to an injury in my neck, causing me to be immobile. So going forward, I want to do everything I can to counteract anything that can make that happen again. Every project has a good parts run, just like a couple years ago building the GC8 for Overcrest. It was time to hit the i5 and the GTI once again. Albeit this trip is going to be a little bit shorter. I don't have to go as far to see some friends. Like I said, I want to do everything I can to help the situation with my back moving forward into the future. And one thing that's going to help that a lot is where I'm sitting in the Mustang. I did a lot of research, a lot of looking around, and I've chatted back and forth with my friends Toby and Nicole at Scheel-Mann Seats for quite a while. So it was time to make the journey to the driver's seat. The 5-hour journey to Portland was done in quick work by the GTI. I arrived to Scheel-Mann just as the day was getting started, and I was really excited to see all their cool cars and SUVs, trucks, test out some seats. But what I was really excited for was to get to know my new friends Toby and Nicole Pond, the owners and the people who operate Scheel-Mann USA every day of the week.
So we started about 9.5 years ago, almost 10 years ago. When I started, my friend Tony at Motorsport Tires, he let me use the back of his shop. I literally was leaned up the seats against the back wall, and he let me come and go as I pleased, shipping and receiving, and really low overhead. It almost seems professional. So we kind of figured out how to stack things and move things, and we bought the right forklift and put in the right racking and organized things, and it turns out it's a pretty smooth operation. Works really good. I guess I'm a sucker for a good story, and years and years ago I read about the Almirez brothers in the south of France and how they, they're just a privateer team running Porsches, scraping together every dollar to get out and race. The Monte Carlo rally was local to them. In 1978 they really made a big push to not just enter the race but to be competitive, and so they developed this kit which uses a narrow body 911, and then they built the flares that kind of emulate the 934. Instead of being on a 930 body, it's a narrow body, and then the front air dam was a lot shorter so that it could go through the snow and not be a snowplow. They didn't actually upgrade the engine. They used basically a standard engine. Long story short is that they got they entered the race and they won the race in a Porsche 911, and that was the last time that Porsche's ever won the Monte Carlo rally. I dreamed of what they did, and this one came up locally, and it was really in rough shape. Didn't have an interior, and the body was kind of banged up, and it was the perfect one to cut up. So my friend Jeff Gamroth at Rossport helped me do the actual work. At first I thought I had what it took to cut the flares off and install them, but after a few months with duct tape and trying to line things up, I brought it to Jeff and let him do it. So Jeff put the body kit on and helped me re-gear the transmission, add a limited slip. KW is a partner of ours. They helped with suspension. My friend J-Man at J-Man Porsche Parts built some skid plates and some other cool parts. Phase 2, after I got it running, the motor was pretty worn out and pretty smoky. Jeff built me a motor. So now it's a 3.4. The throttles really add some joy to the way it sounds and the way it revs. And it's been super reliable, and it's kind of too good to be true. It's really fun.
My dad was a big American car guy, so I grew up going to American car shows with him. It's just part of the fabric of my life. And then he had always wanted vintage Corvette. It was always something that was on his wish list. And so finally he was able to buy one when he was close to retirement age. And so he bought 65 Corvettes and ended up restoring it. So it's pretty cool. It was 2021 is when I quit my full-time job and came full-time working with Scheel-Mann and working with Toby. And you know, from there, just putting in operations in place, process and procedures, growing the team, really growing the company. Toby would say I'm crazy. So we basically, he crewed for a team for a couple years, the Rossport team that was running the Porsches. And it was really cool watching from the sidelines on that project. And I think it was the second or third year, I ended up going down to the finish line, watching the teams roll in, and it was the energy, you just can't describe it, the feeling that it is, and you're there and you're seeing how exhausted and excited everyone is as they're coming in. And so we ended up being at the awards dinner, just hearing more about the experience, and I was like, you know, we should do this. And that year he ended up driving a little bit in the race, and he's like, it's intense, you don't want to do it. And I was like, no, I think we should do it. We bought the race truck from some friends who had built it for the Sonoran Rally and had raced it twice in that. And that's when we took it from them, started prepping it, and we raced the Nora in 2023. It was a lot. Luckily, we have an amazing set of friends who helped us out. What you're experiencing each day, I don't think there's a way to prepare for it. From the terrain, from racing with the other drivers, and just trying to keep the truck going. And then when you encountered issues and you had to fix things and figure out how to fix things, and are you going to race again? Is it fixable? So all those challenges. I think we've just been so fortunate in what we've been able to procure, and honestly, for the R&D, it's amazing how much R&D has to go into things. I know it seems like you look at it, you're like, okay, this is ridiculous, but it's truly being able to, and I know Toby chatted a little bit about this, is what's the right seat that fits in that vehicle, and what we think is maybe the perfect seat that should be able to run across all the lines. You throw it into a sports car and it's not the perfect seat. And so really doing that time in the seat and time in the vehicles, and yeah, no, I think for me, it's kind of checked all our boxes.
A couple years ago was the 100-year anniversary of our factory. It's a family-owned company. Right now, the fourth generation family member is the CEO, Christina. Something to be really super proud of is 100 years of being in business. It's not easy. And so to memorialize that, she wanted to do a special project in the seat department. Historically, there's something that we're really proud of, is that the BMW CSL, when it was introduced, it was spec'd with a Scheel seat. And that seat, the model of that seat was the 101, and the adjustable version with the adjustable backrest was the 101. The fixed backrest was the 100. It seemed natural fit to make that, reintroduce that seat as a commemoration of being in business for 100 years. And so frankly, it was, I think they underestimated how much work it would be to use modern technology, modern materials, modern safety, and integrate that into the classic, authentic seat profile while maintaining comfort and while maintaining the right look and feel. And so it didn't get done until the 101 anniversary of the company. And the model that we're introducing was the adjustable one anyway. So it's the 101 the 101st anniversary of the company, and it has the adjustable inclination of the backrest, which allows you to really kind of fine tune how you feel in the car, which, for instance, if you're on a long straight trip across Kansas, you could lean back and just kind of chill. But if you're in the corners and you need to sit upright, you can just crank it upright. Another cool function that I think of the seat is that it's very customizable to the way that you sit in your car and the way that you like to drive. And so it's important to have thigh support evenly across your thighs to support your body weight. And so in some cars, you might want this cushion to be higher up, and in some cars, you might want it to be lower. It's actually just attached with a Velcro attachment. And underneath there is a piece of foam that you could either take out, this wedge of foam here, or you could add more foam on top of this thigh bar, and then you can kind of customize how high this cushion sits, and you won't see it because it's hidden underneath. They work really hard to have the fit of the material be beautiful without wrinkles and really stretched on nice. And I'm not sure if we talked about it, but this one, every seat ships with a headrest, and we don't prepare the holes unless you ask us to. So when you're ordering a seat, you could say, hey, I definitely want the headrest, and we'll prepare the headrest holes and pop in the grommets. But if you have a 50s car and you want to have no headrest for whatever reason, you could run without. Cool. So for me, everything was about cars, and I loved European cars. So that's just the direction that I went. I was obsessed with cars that had like mechanical purpose. And so one of those cars I had seen through the windshield and around the world was a Land Rover. They just called them Land Rovers because there wasn't like a Defender or a Discovery or anything. So early days of the internet, bought a Series 2A Land Rover, actually up in the great province of British Columbia, Salmon Arm specifically. Drove it home with a toolbox. All the way back to Bend, Oregon, where I was living, someone pulled out in front of me. I rear-ended them. So they pulled out, they were trying to get in traffic, then they stopped right in front of me, and the truck couldn't stop fast enough. So I started working on it myself, pulled the dents out and took the engine apart and realized how worn out it was. And that led me to a British car restoration shop at Bend. He saw my passion and he allowed me to work with him to basically work off the engine being rebuilt. So he rebuilt the engine, showed me how to do it, and let me work on all the other British cars that were there. I had this really cool job working for a company called Saw Stop Table Saws. I helped sell those throughout the world, so I was in charge of selling them internationally and really learned about what I would expect out of a dealer in that other country to represent me well and to do a good job building our brand. And at the same time, I had an old Land Rover Defender 110 that I had repowered and lovingly restored, and the seats were terrible. So through some obscure searching, found that the Scheel-Mann company was still in business and that they made a very specialized seat just for Land Rovers. So I reached out to them and tried to buy seats for my truck, and they said, just go to this website and look at any of our dealers and just buy the seats from one of our dealers. And the website had a map of the world, and then it had Germany, and it had like maybe 30 dealers inside of Germany. And I said, well, that's really cool, but don't you have a dealer, in North America? And they didn't. I started a relationship with them and built up the trust with them for them to allow me to try to represent them and build up the brand in America and see where it went. And so that was almost 10 years ago, and it's been an incredible journey to one, combine something that I love. I love things that are well made and made with passion and have a purpose and get the job done, and combine them with cars, which are something that I've been looking through the windshield my whole life at.
Some days you're just kind of like, wow, I can't believe we did it. Like, we got this here. It's really exciting, and Toby and I each had different strengths that we were able to bring to this. His with his international sales background, mine and my finance background, and it's really cool to see, and bringing in our teammates that have their own set of strengths that they've been able to help bring to the company and get it to where it's at today. And our community, our customers, our dealers. We couldn't do it without any of them. It's never boring. So yeah, we ended up, it was 2021 is when I quit my full-time job and came full-time working with Scheel-Mann and working with Toby. And from there, just putting in operations in place, process and procedures, growing the team, really growing the company.
I would never go on an auction site and say I want this perfect car. This is the one I want. I'm going to spend the money and do it. That's not how I see the world. Instead, I'm an opportunist, and so the story of the people that had it and how it had been used and how it interacted with their life, it was something that it wasn't probably the right thing to buy at the right time, but it was exactly the right thing at the right time to buy because of the story and the way it came about. So I would say I look forward to the future, and I'm an opportunist. I want to put myself in the position to talk to the right people and have relationships with the right people and come across the right fun things. But there isn't a fun thing that I'm trying to buy and obsessively going after. It's more of I'm on a journey, and if it's the right thing at the right time and it makes sense, then it might just happen.
It's all about just continuing the organic growth and sustainability with it. And that's really what we're focused on, to continue to keep the quality and the service where it is. And that's really our main focus. And so for us, that's more important than really thinking about, exponential growth and growing the company. It's how can we do it sustainably and working with our partner and producer and manufacturer in Germany. I'm Nicole Pond, and I'm the COO of Scheel-Mann USA.
My name is Toby Pond, and I try to smile and have fun.
I want to extend an extreme amount of gratitude to Toby and Nicole for having me to Scheel-Mann for 2 days to hang out, to see how the business operates, meet new people, make new friends, and just hang out with car people that share the love of this hobby, this passion that we all enjoy just as much, if not more, than I do. It was a very humbling and eye-opening experience to see people so authentic and so passionate about what they do every day. And I'm incredibly grateful to be partnered with people like that on the 68 Mustang build. And it got me fired up to get back home and get in the driver's seat. 2 years ago, I sat in this Mustang for the first time. Not long after, I tore the seats out. There hasn't been one in here since. I didn't want to put anything in that I didn't feel was going to complete the car in a massive way and be a focal point of this entire piece of my soul. This has obviously become more than just a project car to me. It's my own personal battle to see it through the end. Having a place to sit and feel like I'm a part of it, feel like I've accomplished it, just keeps pushing me forward to that next step. And I can't wait to drive it.